The green machine just saw off Gerwyn Price. It was a pretty lacklustre affair. 92 the average for Van Gerwen. There was a bit of messing about at the end. Double two got a hammer in as well. They hit it for the last three legs. Mark Wilson, Chris Mason with you for the final. Guess he was pretty good earlier on. He was pretty poor in that semi-final. He'll be disappointed. His job and night is done for the evening.
Yeah, it was a bit of a messy game, wasn't it? Neither really. There was too much. I'm not saying too much respect, but neither one of them sort of grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and said, right, I'm having this. And it felt very much like Pricey was playing MVG rather than just playing the game.
Yeah, he is through though, Michael Van Gerwen. Still chasing that first nightly win, but this would be some time to deliver it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and why not? There's been spells tonight where he's looked very, very good. Littler, you can say stay the same for him, but I think Littler will have too much for MVG. If he plays anything like he did against Price, I think he'll get steamrolled. He's just playing at a slightly different level at the moment. You know, he just about, well, he's just hanging around the average of 92. That's not going to trouble Luke Littler tonight. This
is a repeat, of course, of night 7 in Cardiff when Luke Littler won by 6 legs to 4, and it is today the only appearance in the final for Michael Van Gerwen in this campaign, so it's been slim pickings for him so far.
Yeah, he's had problems winning multiple matches. I mean, he played lovely in his opening match tonight, and like we've seen throughout this campaign, he's been unable to replicate it in the next match, or he's walked into someone who's played outstandingly. That's the win on the Euro Tour, where he did put together multiple matches of high quality. I thought, right, something's clicked and he's found a way, but I get a feeling he'd be trying too hard to beat Littler. He'd be trying to win too hard to win his opening night, and I think that maybe is undoing. And if he can somehow muster up the ability to play with freedom and not think about the occasion, listen, he's vastly experienced. He should be able to just go up there and switch off, but I very much think he'd personally like to get one over on Littler.
Well, this is their 8th meeting.
Yeah.
This is their 8th meeting in 2025 alone. They kicked off at the start of the year where Luke Littler took out the World Championship, winning by 7 sets to 3. They then met at the Dutch Darts Masters when Littler once again beat Van Gerwen, that time 6 legs to 3. This is their 6th Premier League meeting. Van Gerwen won in week 1 when both play well. 105.91 plays 113.91. Littler on the right end of the averages, the wrong end of the result. Since then, 3 wins for Littler, and then Van Gerwen got his own back with a last leg shootout win in week 12 of the Premier League. So 6 meetings in the Premier League. I mean, they know each other well, and yeah, I think Littler has got the rub of the green over Michael Van Gerwen at the moment, but Van Gerwen with a win here takes a big step forward to the playoffs, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's another factor that may hinder his performance. I'm not sure he knows what's going to happen in his next game. He's just in that place at the moment where the throw is going through an evolutionary process where he started where the dart was pointing to the sky, and now the hand's closed, and when he doesn't quite get the timing right, he can't open his hand quick enough, and that's why we do see a lot of missed doubles, because there's more elements of pressure in that part of the game. But yeah, listen, it's fascinating. Anything could happen. You know, it's Michael. We don't know, and I don't think he knows. He could rock up there and throw 110 average. Do I think he will? I think it's unlikely. Could he? Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely could. The night started off Luke Littler beat Stephen Bunting 6 legs to 5, averaging 98.11. We then saw Nathan Aspinall average just over 92 to beat Chris Dobey 6-3. Gerwyn Price won the last 3 legs to beat Luke Humphries 6-5, averaging just under a ton, as Humphries averaged over 107. And our final quarter-final saw Michael Van Gerwen beat Rob Cross by 6 legs to 4, winning 4 of the last 5. Semi-finals, Littler 6, Aspinall 5, and then we've just seen Michael Van Gerwen beat Gerwyn Price by 6 legs to 3. Yeah, missed too many darts at double. Yeah. You know, he missed 5 in the opening leg, and that set the tone, didn't it?
And that may well be, you know, we always look for an indicator of, you know, Littler got away with it really against Bunting, and Michael certainly got away with it against Pricey. I mean, Price in his opening match in that defeat of Humphries was outstanding, and ironically, the element of his game that won that match wasn't there against Michael van Gerwen. It was a strange one. I think statistically everything points to a Littler win, but listen, records are for DJs.
Hey, I like it. We mentioned, I know you and Chris have looked at this early on in the evening, the fixtures that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. Nathan Aspinall takes on Luke Littler next week. Michael van Gerwen, Luke Humphries. Those are two tough ones. And then van Gerwen meets Aspinall in night 15 in Aberdeen, and they could potentially still meet in week 16 as well. So
yeah, I think it's imperative Michael gets this win. I think. Listen, he's still in a good position. He's a win away from being in, a nightly win away from guaranteeing his spot. Well, not guaranteeing, but pretty much guaranteeing his spot in the last four. And again, was that what was missing in that last game? The pressure, the situational pressure, and occasion.
I said that to Murph. There was a lot of messing around. There was time. They were stopping each other getting to the hockey. They were fiddling about with their gear.
I thought I was watching Peter Manley.
Yeah, exactly. It was, like a relegation scrap in the Premier League. They were both trying to waste as much time as possible, trying to put each other off. But in the end, van Gerwen gets the victory. But we're at that time now, aren't we, where there is pressure because, yeah, you've got 16 weeks to get in the playoffs, but when you get into the last couple of weeks, all of a sudden a win here or a loss there can cost you a lot of money and also a chance to win the title.
Absolutely, and for Michael, this is sort of territory he's not used to, or probably more so the last couple of years. But the idea of, the most successful Premier League player not getting in the final four is unthinkable, isn't it? But times are changing. He's no one's particularly dominating, not right now. Humphries had a very, very good run, but we're now approaching, the next sort of significant event will be the World Cup of Darts, and then we're approaching the match play, and this is the time of the year where you've got to start putting down a bit of a marker, let's say.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, and I could be speaking a mile out of turn here, but did I not hear that Michael van Gerwen said he wasn't going to go to the World Cup this time?
He's not. He's booked a family holiday.
He's actually said that.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I think, I'm sure I heard that.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody told me that.
Well, and there was a question mark over Luke Littler with the treatment he received the last time in Germany. He made it, he made it known he wasn't happy. He wasn't thinking about going back to Germany, but I don't think he'd want to turn down that opportunity to represent your country and play like number 1 and 2 in the world. That's going to be some occasion. They get on very well. I mean, in terms of playing pairs, I'm not sure our experience Luke would be in that Littler, that is, in that sort of environment. But
look, let's be fair, Chris. He could rock up with me, still have half a chance of winning, wouldn't he? I think he'll be all right with Luke Humphries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just like you look at Pricey and Clayton. They just gel. So they trust each other. There's that. They don't try and overplay, and that's one thing. Sometimes if your partner's struggling, you can sometimes just try that little bit too hard. But those two they've got good chemistry. Yeah,
they certainly have. I mean, that's for the future, isn't it? But we like to maybe Dimitri van den Berg missing out this time on the World Cup. No Michael van Gerwen. There could be some new look partnerships, and it will certainly be a tournament worth following. Yeah,
I always look forward to it. I love it now that it's pairs all the way through. It's a pairs tournament. That's what it should be. It's not an individual tournament, and I think it's much more exciting. But of course, the one we're looking forward to, and the one I start thinking about this time of the year is the match play. The rankings are starting to take shape. At the moment, there's a lot of players who are currently missing out that you thought maybe we're always seem to be there. Michael Smith not currently in a qualifying position. Ratajski not in.
Richie Edhouse, European champion, not in there.
Callum Ridge nowhere near it.
Yeah.
Gabriel Clemens, who was not that long ago a semi-finalist in the world. Scott Williams, who had that incredible run to the semi-finals in the world, not in it. Kim Ibrett's not in it. Sulevic not in it. This is a real sort of changing of the guard at the moment. But the one player I am pleased to see back in it is Dirk van Dijvenbode, who's playing some lovely stuff right now.
Yeah, he is. He is. For me, I'm not just saying it because we cover it on talkSPORT, it is for me the best tournament. You get the top 16 against the informed 16. So you guarantee pretty much 16 quality games in round one.
It's the best 16 players in the main order of merit, and then it's the next best 16 in terms of form, Pro Tour, European Tour, etc. And that's why we're going to have so many sort of new names. Wessel Nijman, Van Veen's qualified, Martin Schindler's top of that Pro Tour order of merit list. Cameron Menzies will be there. Mike De Decker, who won the Grand Prix, he'll be there. Joe Cullen's back in a qualifying position. Watamina, Ryan Joyce, even Barneveld's currently occupying the 15th spot on the Pro Tour order of merit qualifying list, and Luke Woodhouse is in 16th position. So I mean, there's a lot of darts between now and then, of course, but we're starting to see the players that look the most likely to qualify.
Yeah, well, we're just moments away from the final of Premier League Night 13 here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. We're awaiting the two players out onto the hockey.
And also, we'll also be bringing you lots of extra content at the match play. We'll be doing reviews at the end of each night from the hotel, and then we'll be doing some previews midday if I can get you off the golf course. That is.
I've only played once this year. I'm retired.
That will exclusively be on the Darts YouTube channel. Another reason to subscribe. I know a lot of you have subscribed this evening, so thank you for that. Yeah,
always welcome along.
And we will keep it interactive. We're going to do a lot of live stuff. So,
are we?
Yeah.
Good. You in charge of the comments, or?
Yeah, that's usually my thing.
Good man. Luke Littler, Michael Van Gerwen to come. You going for Luke Littler? It seems the obvious pick, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Littler 6'3", 6'4". The stats certainly suggest that will be the kind of scoreline if they play to tight.
Let's find out.
Back to the action. We are coming to you live on Sky Sports from the great city of Birmingham. It's the BetMGM Premier League, all brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands joining us live and the millions joining us around the world, it's time to welcome back our Birmingham finalists. Firstly, would you please welcome the winner of 158 PDC titles worldwide, a 7-time Premier League champion, and a 3-time champion of the world, Michael Van Gerwen.
Well, Wills, that was a very focused Michael Van Gerwen on the walk-on. He is switched on, and he knows how important tonight is.
Well, a win for mighty Michael Van Gerwen, 7-time Premier League winner, would take him a huge step towards qualifications for the O2 at the end of this month. 3 more weekly rounds to come at the final.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back the winner of 14 PDC titles. The reigning UK Open champion, the reigning Grand Slam champion. It's the reigning defending Premier League champion and the reigning champion of the world.
Van Gerwen get the same opportunity. Race to 6 legs for a nightly win in Birmingham.
And a nice little £10,000 bonus.
Pocket change for Mr. Littler and Mr. Van Gerwen.
Yeah, so Michael, as it stands, on 20 points, 1 point ahead of Aspinall. He's in a qualifying position, but a win here would take him on to 22 and level with Price, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You know, and then it only takes Aspinall to win next week, and all of a sudden you've got a three-way go, a genuine. Well, we have got a genuine three-way go anyway, but
no, this is going to go down to the wire, isn't it? Like I said, if you're within that sort of 5-point mark. Interestingly, head-to-heads between these two in Premier League this year, 3-2 to Luke, but Luke's average in those matches over 106. MVG at 98. So more often than not, Michael's just requiring that extra turn, which is something that has developed in his game over the last couple of years. He's not as ruthless on the outer wire.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is
what we do know, he's still got that burst in him.
Oh, yeah.
Little throw first then. Race to 6 to win night 13 in Birmingham. Charlie Courstefine calling the numbers in the final. 95 for Littler. And just a touch less for Van Gerwen.
Nice friendly start from both. Oh, bounce out for Littler. Recovers beautifully, 120.
I think it was in the treble 5, wasn't it? Deflection.
Yeah, well, it's a deflection, it's not a bounce out. They're basically trying to put square pegs in round holes and they don't fit.
Yeah.
There's no room at the end.
How's life anyway as an ambassador these days? Now you're a retired darts player. You all right?
Yes, I'm enjoying it. I'm playing a bit of local league stuff on a Tuesday, playing in the singles league on a Wednesday. That's about as far as it goes now for me.
You play more darts now than when you played darts.
94.
Littler down to 52. Van Gerwen on 173, looking at 790.
Tickets for the World Seniors are going on sale today or tomorrow. I will be there in the February as an ambassador.
Tops just wired. Ooh, twice. So Van Gerwen is going to get a look at a steal here, 74.
He's following the pattern he had with Price. Tops for a real steal. Yeah, Charlotte has that BA Honours thing after her name now. I just had mine done with Ambassador. I didn't say what of, it just says Chris Mason, Ambassador. I do get some interesting looks.
Well, as Sid Waddell famously said, you know, you're from the University of Life, Chris.
Yeah. I don't think I'll get invited to Oxford to do a little speech, to be honest.
You never know.
Stormzy did.
Yeah. Don't write yourself off, my friend.
Right, so Van Gerwen pinched leg 1.
96.
And he started with 60 and 96. Down to 345. Littler with a 96 start. He's not finding dart 1 where he'd like to see it landing. It's just being slightly over pitched at the moment. 2 treble 19s. For MVG, comes back up for treble 20, down to 211 on throw. 54 adrift Littler. He's on the 19s. He's got 6 of them. Make that
7. A little bit unlucky there, but he's on a finish. Van Gerwen on 211, single 19, treble 20, and treble 20. Well, he nearly had the champagne shot earlier on. He's hit the bull and there's a load of room in there for another one. He's hit another one. He just checks it's in. It is in, Luke. Double 16 he needs. He could get another 10 in there. Double 16 for the 132, and maybe just took a little bit too much time.
Yeah, another dart at a double for the lag. Single 16, single 16. Tops nail. Well, he's living a charmed life at the moment, is MVG. He's just played a guy who averaged 105 for the night last week, average 80 against him. And now he's playing against a guy who, well, couldn't buy a double.
42.
Only 42 for Van Gerwen. Littler went 99. He's missed 3 darts. And crucially, in fairness to Van Gerwen, he's hit 74 and 72 by hitting tops with his last dart in hand on both occasions.
Absolute chasm in the averages.
There's been a few games like that tonight, though, haven't there? The guy who's at the top of the averages hasn't been winning.
No. 106 Littler, 98.67 MVG.
140.
Well, we did mention right back in week 1 of this tournament that Luke Littler averaged 113.91 and lost.
Yeah.
60. Luke Rakai,
Yeah, we
122.
do see some big averages losing nowadays, bigger than I ever can remember. 31 scored, tied it up with treble 17 to leave tops. MVG stranded on 259, but is in front 2 legs to nil and a race to 6. This is the final of night 13 from Birmingham. Double 10, of course. 2-1.
Yeah, for many of the neutrals, the fact that Van Gerwen wins the opening 2 legs would feel it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
It certainly gives him an advantage. That was up with the ton 40. Started leg 4. He's got the throw, so he's a break in front. This is another matchup, though, and we mentioned the fact they've played so often. I'm just looking down the numbers. Their 7th meeting of the year, and in 5 of those, the winner has been way over 102.
Yeah.
Way over.
Again, their games just gel well.
95.
It's like in boxing, isn't it? You just got to have a good dance partner.
Yeah, that's it.
59.
We saw with Littler and Bunting earlier on.
Yeah, they very rarely produce a poor. Well, I don't think they've ever produced a poor matchup.
No. I think there is a chemistry between these 8 players in the Premier League this year. They all seem to get along. They've all played in the right spirit. I know there's a little bit of messing about in our last game between Price and Van Gerwen, but they were both at it. There was certainly no animosity in it. But I think they just all seem to get on and just get on with the darts, and it shows in what they turn in every week.
Yeah, we've not had any fallings out, so that's always a good sign. And when we go to events, we see them all having a laugh and a chat together. And again, MVG 76 this time with final dart in hand, finds that double top. 3 from 3 on the doubles. Littler just a little bit erratic at the moment. I said I don't think his game's in the best place at the moment.
81.
But with the greatest will in the world, he's a mile clear in the Premier League. Yeah, they're playing for £10,000. It's a lot of money to a lot of people. To these lads, it's not really a lot of money, and
it's hours work.
You can understand, can't you? You can understand why he's maybe not quite as it is.
Yeah, but we are approaching a sort of the start of. I know there's no season in darts, but you do have spells where towards from sort of the match play onwards, isn't it? All the big events, the match play, the Grand Slam, the Grand Prix. They all seem to sort of bleed into one another from that point onwards.
Yeah, they do.
So if you've got any flaws in your game, this is when the work should be sort of being done.
Littler down to 120. Listen and watching along on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube page. Thanks for joining us. Keep making sure you're liking and subscribing. Lots of you doing that. A 120 out for Littler, moves back within 1.
Yeah, he needs to produce one of those kind of legs on the MVG throw, which he has done, but not been able to put him away.
This reminds me of the Bunting match earlier on, where he's like a horse coming into the final straight. The jockey's sat there, he's not moved. He goes, I can see you, I know where you are, I know where the finish line is, and rest assured by the time we get up that hill I'm going to be in front of you. And that, it just smacks of that.
Yes. He seems to handle these situations very well, where it's a bit like the swan. It looks all serene on top, and underneath they're paddling like mad.
Well, Van Gerwen fires in a 171.
Great timing as well. He needed every one of those points. Because Littler on 261 has left 170 with a treble 17. 206 MVG on throw.
Luke Rakai 170.
Well, he nearly got it earlier on tonight. Not going to get it this time. And Van Gerwen's finishing prowess is going to be tested here. Only 65.
Just when he looks like he might break MVG. Oh, MVG doesn't take top, so Littler's going to get a go. Oh, he's made a mess of that. He's left himself 69, 105 Littler ball. Oh, he went for 25. Well, he went for the ball. 25 and left him tops. Can't do it now. 35 scored, 70 left. Does need tops. Well, MVG's going to get this, isn't he?
Well, he will hope so, but having left 69, he's only going to get one dart. And that one dart is at tops, and now he misses. And that was careless from Van Gerwen. 2 visits and only one got a double.
And Littler punishes. We got a game on our hands. 3-3.
That jockey we were on about, he's just moved up alongside. He's having a look saying, what have you got? Because I've got plenty, man.
Yeah. Not even show them the whip yet.
100.
3-3, race to 6 to win. Night 13 as a maximum from Van Gerwen.
Back comes Littler. Oh, loads of room. Oh, you can just see by the reaction there, he just didn't get to the end of the throw. Oh, really?
That was a wicked deflection, otherwise he was 6 from 6. All of a sudden, someone's turned on the turbo boost.
81 after 9 for Littler. MVG 181 finds trouble 19 on cover. He's on 85 after 9.
Can't find the treble 19. Does find the treble 12. That leaves double 13, and he's quicker than the cameraman. That is 3 legs on the spin, and Littler is 4-3 in front.
140.
This is very, very good from both. It has to be said.
139.
Well, 140 followed up by 139. Van Gerwen with the throw. Start of leg 8 in the red bit again. Hits him with a 140. Littler's back in the red bit again and again.
140.
102 and a half. Littler 98 and a half.
100.
MVG. Littler's looking to get another break of throw. Oh, doesn't find a treble. Down to 164. 1-2 on MVG. Hits the 25 to leave 96. Taking the bull out of the equation, which is a good plan.
164 then for 5-3. Old school, treble 20, treble 18, bullseye! Not quite, expected that to go.
Great effort, double 8 for 4-4. This is very much like the Bunting game, isn't it? Well, he finds the bottom corner, only just, he's nearly in double 16. Only 60, chance for MVG.
It is. Can he capitalise? 4-4, he's above it, below it, but not in it. But hits treble 19. Van Gerwen 67% of the doubles, 44% for Littler.
140.
40 to re-establish the throw. 102.97 the average now for Littler. 96.44 MVG as we speak. 301 Littler, 344 MVG. Treble 20's found. Follows. Stunning.
Ominous from Littler, who in the last 2.5 legs has really motored
100.
in the scoring ranks. 1-2-1 for a 5-4 lead. Hit treble 20. Well, he went for treble 7 to leave
treble
tops.
7 for tops. It's used a lot now, especially the players that love tops and tens. James Wade's the same. He will go for the treble 7. Didn't need to go bull, of course, because MVG back on 163 now.
And he's left a bogey as well, so it's tops for a 5-4 lead. Now it's tens. Tens he delivers. 5-4. A leg away from a 5th nightly win of the Premier League campaign.
Brilliant from MVG.
140.
2 legs remain. He has to win them both. 1 with throw, 1 against throw. Great response.
The second half of this match has been outstanding, hasn't
electric.
it? Absolutely outstanding.
Both players delivering. Oh, a mistake. Hit treble 7 on cover after a 20 and a 5. So Littler with a 2 treble visit could steal the darts, and he's coming up dry. Paul finds treble 18 in the corner. Down to 268. 315 the green machine.
He's not going to be on a finish though. 60. Only 60. So 6 darts from here for Littler for a 5th nightly win.
Treble 20, bang in the middle. Oh, deflected right into the 5.
125.
Gets it right with dart 3, down to 143. MVG 255. Starts on the 19s, only a single. 20 is a single.
59.
Oh dear, so he's got 6 darts here, Mark.
He
to
has.
Take out 143.
Is he going to do it in style? No. All about the layup now. Hits the treble 17. 77 scored, 66 left.
91.
Single 14. He's on a 2-dart combo. Van Gerwen. He's throwing in hope here. 196. And he hits 140. So Littler to win it. Win the night needs 52. Oh, he's missed the big number. Big 9. Single 3. That was right in the middle. Tops over the top. Van Gerwen with a chance here to take us all the way.
This is remarkable. 16. Double 10. Littler's favourite double. He's missed. Littler wants tops.
That first start from Van Gerwen at tops was a mile away. That one wasn't. And Luke Littler for the 5th time in the Premier League of Darts 2025 is the nightly winner. Another little trophy going his way, another check going his way as well. Extends his lead at the top and also extends Michael Van Gerwen's wait for a nightly win. He is still one of 2 players yet to win. It's not been the worst night for Van Gerwen. He has nudged into the top 4 of the Premier League of Darts, but felt like a missed opportunity there for Michael Van Gerwen. Littler pushed, found it late on in the piece. He was 3-1 down, went on to win 6-4, but it could have been and maybe should have been different.
Yeah, I think it's just about right. Listen, he missed opportunities early on, didn't he, Littler? And he could have won a lot more comfortably. I thought 6-3, 6-4. Just looking at their numbers coming into it, and Littler looks like he's just got loads in the tank, and whenever he's in a match like that, it's very similar to the Bunting one, despite not going all the way. But he's just so calm. It really is an old head on young shoulders, and he finds a way to just manoeuvre through the gears and put you under so much pressure. Basically, what he's doing to MVG is what MVG did to everybody for years and years and years.
It is indeed. So the tail of the tape tonight, Littler averaging 102.5, beats Van Gerwen by 6 legs to 4. Van Gerwen averages 94.31. That 120 checkout, the best of the final for Luke Littler, and it's Luke Littler who extends his lead at the top. He now into the finals. Luke Humphries, you would imagine, is with him already, but the battle on for those other top 4 spots will go on into Leeds next week. Littler top 35 points. Humphries second on 26. 22 points now for Gerwyn Price. And Michael Van Gerwen on 20 points is in 4th. Aspinall on 19. And Rob Cross is on 14. Dobey and Bunting, well, they're done for 2025 in the Premier League. So Littler through to the playoffs now. On the back of that, he can't be caught. It is going to be Littler defending his crown. The question is, who's going to be joining him?
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. We said very early on we felt like the top 3 would take care of itself, and that P4 place, the final qualifying position, will be the one that they will battle it out in, and that's exactly what's happening. And Luke's just, I would say this is probably 75% of him at his ultimate best, and it's still more than enough to win these nights. So I want to see him play a bit more tournaments as we reach that sort of start of the real season of big championship events coming up. And then hopefully by the time we get round to covering the match play, he'll be at his absolute best.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be. When it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro helps you dodge bogus sites, and with a Dart Web Monitor you get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free, and a birthday deal. It's risk free with Nord's 30-day money back guarantee. That's as far as we go tonight. Chris and Mason and Murphy, thank you for your company tonight. We will be back next week with all the action from Leeds. Just 3 weekly nights to go. Then it will be the playoffs live from the O2 in London. Luke Littler, another win for him. But Mighty Mike's wait for a Premier League victory night goes on and on. Good night from all of us here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Littler's beaten Van Gerwen by 6 legs to 4.